My name is Terry Swoop, and I wanted to talk about what killed R&B music on mainstream radio. The last 10 years, you haven't seen traditional R&B music being played on mainstream radio. And as a result, the sales of R&B music has went downhill. If you look at the Billboard charts, there's no R&B songs on the Billboard charts, whether it be the Hot 100 or the Billboard 200. The only few R&B singers that you may see on mainstream radio is Beyonce, Rihanna, or Chris Brown. Now, I don't consider Chris Brown a traditional R&B singer. He's more of a hip-hop artist than an R&B singer. Rihanna is more of a pop singer than an R&B singer. I would consider Beyonce a traditional R&B singer, but she's going more of into a pop direction. So there really is no traditional R&B singers getting mainstream airplay. If you go back to the early 2000s, Jill Scott used to get mainstream airplay. Lyfe Jennings used to get mainstream airplay, but they've pretty much disappeared within the mainstream. I remember Matthew Knowles was doing an interview, and he said Beyonce would not get mainstream airplay if she wasn't light-skinned. He said if Beyonce was dark-skinned, she would not get mainstream airplay. And I think he has a point. I don't think he was bashing his daughter. I just think he was keeping it real and being honest about it. If Beyonce was as dark as Janelle Monáe or Jennifer Hudson, she would not get mainstream airplay. Janelle Monáe just put out an album. A lot of great songs on this album. I bought the album. And none of her songs got mainstream airplay. She got no mainstream airplay. Jennifer Hudson doesn't get mainstream airplay. Lalah Hathaway never gets mainstream airplay. Lalah Hathaway is the daughter of Donny Hathaway. Very great singer, and she's very underrated. Most of these R&B singers that are dark-skinned usually do underground R&B. And when you do underground R&B, you don't get mainstream airplay. The only airplay you're going to get is on the internet. And that's going to hurt your sales when you don't get any airplay on mainstream radio. Now, I respect Beyonce and I respect her music, but let's be honest about it. If Beyonce was dark-skinned, she would not get the mainstream airplay that she gets. She would not get all the acclaim that she gets. And I do think it's harder on dark-skinned women. I think if Aretha Franklin was singing in today's music, she would not have the success that she had in the 70s and the 60s. She would not have that type of success today. Because in today's music, it's based on your sex appeal. It's not based on the music anymore. Today's music, success is based on your image. It's based on your image and it's based on your sex appeal. Especially if you're a female artist. I remember Lauryn Hill, she said one of the reasons why she stepped away from the music industry was how phony the music industry had gotten. The music industry only wants to promote artists who promote sex appeal and promote image. Most of the music industry is not about the music anymore. They're not about making music that's meaningful. They're not about promoting music that's meaningful. And I think this is one of the reasons why Lauryn Hill stepped away from the music industry. Lauryn Hill mostly just does her music independently. She does it on the underground. She does her concerts, but she doesn't do mainstream music anymore. And it's really sad when I see most of the black radio stations only playing rap music. Most of the black radio stations only play mumble rap. They don't even play traditional rap music. they mostly only play mumble rap. Whether it be Future or Amigos or Lil Yachty, they only play these mumble rappers all day long. And it bothers me that a lot of younger people don't know anything about R&B music. If you ask the average black teenager to name an R&B song, they can't even name an R&B song. Because the only music they're being exposed to is mumble rap. The only music they're being exposed to is this ignorant mumble rap. What I don't like about mumble rap is that it promotes the most racist stereotypes about black people. That black people only praise thuggery. Black people don't know how to speak properly. Black people only endorse ignorance. And that's what mumble rap represents. Everything about mumble rap is a minstrel show. This is why I can't stand rappers like Kodak Black and Lil Yachty and Lil Pump. And most of these mumble rappers are just complete trash. But most of the black radio stations only play mumble rap. They completely stopped playing R&B music altogether. What's crazy is that Britain, R&B music is actually more popular in Britain than it is in America. It's more popular in the UK than it is in America. And that doesn't make any sense to me, because R&B music started in America. I remember Tyrese was doing an interview and he was complaining about how British R&B singers get more airplay than black R&B singers. And I think he has a point. I love Sam Smith's music. I love Adele's music. But it seriously bothers me how a lot of these British radio stations won't play black R&B singers, but they'll play Sam Smith music. They'll play Adele's music. Now, I love Adele, I love Sam Smith, but it doesn't make any sense to me why they will play white British music, but they won't play black R&B music. It's like they only want to play it from a race of another person. And I think that's a problem. That's a serious problem. The truth is, most of today's music has taken a nosedive. Rock music has went downhill. R&B music has went downhill. Pop music has went downhill. Rap music has completely went downhill. And I think the main problem is most of today's music is not based on talent. It's based on image. And when you base all the music on image instead of talent, it's going to take a nosedive. And this is the main problem. The only people that really love today's music are the kids that are growing up in today's music, because this is the only music that they've ever heard before. This is the only music that they ever been exposed to. So when I see a lot of these kids talking about how much they love Kodak Black and they love Lil Pump, and I'm thinking to myself, how can anybody like this bullshit? How can anybody listen to this bullshit? But if this is all they've ever heard, this is all they're gonna like. And that's the problem. I think we need to start exposing younger people to different forms of music instead of just feeding them one type of music. A lot of people have different opinions about this topic. Leave a comment, rate, and subscribe.